Salutations, my friends. Voodoo here to help ring in the new year with another custom build just in time for 2016. As the year comes to an end, it is a time to prepare for new beginnings. What better way to embrace the new than to change things up a bit? Rearrange your computer room, new carpet, a new coat of paint on the wall, a change of scenery. But what about that old dusty rig cluttering up your desk? That boring hunk of steel and plastic that's starting to become an eyesore. You remember how badass that custom gaming rig looked fresh out of the box, but now it's starting to show its wear. Give it a respectable retirement and replace it with a stylish and modern new rig that is both easy on your eyes and the wallet. Its retro vibe and vintage lines will cause even your biggest technophobe to do a double take. Quite a conversation starter and a bit of a modern art piece if you ask me. So let's get started on our $700 Steam box. First off is our case. No more boring mid-towers with gaudy flashing LEDs and ornate molding. No shiny plastic bits and over-complex geometry. Oh no, 2016 is the year of sophistication. For this reason, I've selected the Rosewell Legacy V4S Silver Aluminum Micro ATX case. This case is surprisingly small at a mere 11 by 10 inches and is charmingly simplistic with sharp, clean lines. The single central located power button and side vents help to maintain its minimalism and elegance. It also has one 2.0 and one 3.0 USB, as well as an audio jack on the side of the case. The inside is rather compact, restricting your CPU cooler to a height of less than 120 millimeters and a GPU to less than 260 millimeters. Still, not a bad trade-off for the impressive build quality and size, and it's just perfect for a Steam box or console killer. It can accommodate a full ATX power supply, as well as two 2.5-inch drive bays and three 3.5-inch drive bays. However, it is a bit restrictive on airflow and is not optimal for heavy overclocking. The Legacy is cooled by up to 3 80mm exhaust fans, which I recommend purchasing to make sure the internal components receive proper airflow, as this case requires negative air pressure to intake cold air from the front and side of the case. Still, it stays more than cool enough with a good set of PWM-controlled exhaust fans and is surprisingly silent even under load. On sale for $69.99. To help keep our retro sci-fi conversation piece from catching fire, I recommend we pick up a few quality 80mm fans with PWM adapters and set our fan curves accordingly. 50% at 40 degrees Celsius and 100% at 60 degrees Celsius seems to work well. You should be able to find a lot of options over 30 cubic feet, and we've gone with the Rosewell 80mm just to match our case. Only $4.99, so grab a few and stay cool. To energize our shiny silver machine, we've got an EVGA 100K1 700 watt 80 plus bronze certified power supply with 56 amps on a single 12 volt rail. This should be plenty of power for this system. It is small enough to fit inside this beautiful case and comes with a 3-year warranty. All this for $49.99 after rebate. Now onto our motherboard. We're going to need something small and cheap to keep within our budget. When it comes to budget-friendly micro form factor PCs, it's hard to beat the Intel Z97 platform, so let's go with the Gigabyte GA Z97M motherboard. This is an affordable micro ATX motherboard in socket LG1150. It features up to 32 gigs of dual-channel DDR3 3100 memory and has one PCI Express port and 6 SATA ports, as well as 4 USB 3.0 ports. Crossfire or SLI may not be an option with this board, but at a price of $79.99, it's great for a system like ours. For the brains of this beauty, we've got an Intel i5 4590 Haswell 3.3 GHz quad-core processor. It's an affordable and quite powerful processor and has good single-core performance for gaming, with a respectable 3D Mark physics score of 6150. This processor features a 22nm architecture with 4 cores running at 3300 MHz and a 6MB L2 cache, all with a TDP of only 85 watts. A bargain for any budget build at $184.99. Now, to keep our Steambox up to speed, we are going to need at least 8GB of RAM, and with our motherboard's maximum DDR3 of 3100, we can really pick up some performance gains here for very little cash. So let's grab a couple of sticks of G.Skill's Aries 2400 memory. This memory has a cache latency of 11 and a voltage of 1.65 running at 2400 MHz. This will keep our overall gameplay smooth and frame rates constant, and for $29.99 it's a steal. So how are we going to store our massive library of awesome games? Well, in my humble opinion, this just wouldn't be a proper gaming rig without at least one SSD. Nothing fancy, but let's toss in a Team Dark 240GB SSD. This drive is cheap, reliable, and has decent read speeds. It's one of my personal favorites for a budget build. It has a random read speed of 550 megabytes and is capable of 75,000 IOPS. It features trim command support for longevity. Its 240 gigs of storage is big enough to hold quite a few modern titles, and has a life cycle and price per gigabyte ratio that's hard to match. Pick one up for $59.99 and let the games begin. Now, to the most important part of any gaming rig and the component with the most impact on our frames per second, our GPU. There are so many affordable options on the market right now for GPUs, and with our 700 watt power supply, we should have few restrictions on upgrading. After a bit of research, it came down to 2 options that seemed just too good to pass up. I want something that can give our i5 a decent workout and give us 1080p and some mild 1440p gaming at 60 frames per second. This will allow our little silver Steambox to really burn up the console competition, especially with its beautiful form factor and muscle is showcased in the living room. We are going to need a card that runs cool, powerful, is small enough for the limitations of our micro ATX case, and comes in under our $700 total budget. So let's go with an AMD Radeon R9 380. This card may look small, but it's no joke. Its 3D Mark score of 12,000 is well above a GTX 960 and a bit below a GTX 970. This powerful piece of silicone boasts 4 gigs of GDDR5 running on a 256-bit bus with 1792 stream processors, and has nearly all the power of its bigger brother, the new R9 380X, but will run cooler and quieter. Combine that with a price tag of $199, and I think we've got a winner. And there you go. A $700 Steambox console shredding gaming PC. There is just something about this shiny metal cube sitting on the desk, humming quietly, that causes a bit of curiosity to stir. It even seems a bit futuristic and steampunk with its strong square shape, tiny form factor, and its classic aluminum finish. This PC would look right at home anywhere from a massive LAN party, a CEO's high-end office, or your average messy dorm room. This is a PC you can take pride in. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for joining me, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more, or feel free to leave a like or a comment. As always, I will see you next time.